Sometimes I think about ending it all. The tips of Miranda's ears grew warm as she slid to the edge of her seat to take Jalen's hand. Student helpers were supposed to summon Mr. Shaw from the other room if a student admitted having suicidal thoughts, but it had taken Miranda most of the period to get Jalen to open her mouth. They'd be back to square one if a teacher came in here. Miranda tossed a wayward curl out of her face. Do you really think that's the answer? To end your life? Jalen shrugged and pulled her hand away. If Miranda called for Mr. Shaw, Jalen would feel betrayed and embarrassed. As it was, only one of the girl's eyes dared to peek out from behind a purple streak of hair. If Miranda really wanted to help this girl, it would have to be without the guidance counselor in the room. What about your parents? Your little sister? What do you think they would want? Miranda leaned forward, neck muscles stiff. Another shrug. They might be better off without me. No, that's not true. They'd be devastated without you. She ducked her head to lock gazes with the younger girl, hoping Jalen couldn't see the uncertainty shining through her gaze. They say suicide doesn't stop the pain. It just passes it off to someone else. Would you want your baby sister to carry the pain you're feeling right now for the rest of her life? Could you do that to her? Jalen shook her head. Progress. Good. The knot in Miranda's stomach softened. Do you think? Jalen's hair fell forward, obscuring her face further. Never mind. It's okay. What were you going to ask? It's stupid. Scooting closer, Miranda brightened her tone. Hey, you're not stupid, and your questions aren't stupid. What do you want to know? Jalen shifted in her seat and clasped her hands together. Just, do you think there's something after, all of this? Miranda's heart squeezed out a panicked rhythm. Like an afterlife? The girl offered a small nod. Chewing on her lip, Miranda organized her thoughts before answering. Members of the Natural Helpers Club weren't supposed to influence their peers' religious beliefs. But if this girl thought for a moment the next life might provide something better than her sophomore year of high school, she might be tempted to do the unthinkable. Well, I guess I agree with Karl Marx when he said religion was the opium of the people. It promises comforting thoughts, but its only purpose is to make you feel better about the situation you're in. I think you and I are smart enough and strong enough to feel better without distorting the truth and deceiving ourselves. Don't you think? Jalen's one-eyed gaze didn't look convinced. You know what I do when I feel down? I take a piece of paper and list everything I have to be grateful for. Everything I have that makes life worth living. A fib, but it was necessary to get Jalen to do the exercise without feeling silly. Why don't we make a list for you to carry around in your pocket? That way, when you start feeling this way, you can read it and remind yourself of everything you have going for you. She slid a half sheet of scrap paper from Mr. Shaw's tray across the desk and handed Jalen a blue pen. What's something that makes you smile? My dog? Penny? Perfect! Let's write that down. Jalen dabbed her eyelashes with a tissue and worked on her list. Once she had filled one side of the paper, Miranda held it up. Look at this. She swiped her finger up and down the page. All of this is worth living for. This is concrete proof you have a great life right here and now. Don't you think? The sophomore smiled. Yeah. Relief washed over Miranda as she stood and gave Jalen a hug. I think you're going to be okay. Why don't you sit with me at lunch tomorrow? And here's the number to my cell. Send me a text this afternoon so I have your number. You can reach out whenever your feelings get out of whack and you need someone to talk to, even if it's in the middle of the night. I'll be there. I'm your friend. You're not in this alone. Not anymore. Okay?